Welcome back, listeners, to season 12. Wait, season 12.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Of the Hit Pause podcast, the podcast where we give you all of your YouTube recommendations, cover all the latest news. Although I don't think there's any news today. Do you have any news today?
No, I don't think so, no.
But we do have a bunch of videos to recommend and a couple of awesome channels as well. So keep listening. You are here with your host. My name is Ayman.
And I'm the good-looking one, David.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
We're starting off the season like that, are we? I see. Okay.
Yeah.
What you been up to? Have you been up to a lot of YouTube this week? What's going on?
I mean, normally we take a break, so we self-reflect. We talk about what have we done
between seasons.
Outside of YouTube. What have we done with our real lives? But I've been on YouTube quite a bit. I'm quite happy with my recommendation for the year. For the week.
Yeah.
But it feels like I've watched a year's worth of content because I've been just chowing down all the videos.
Really? I've had a real binge week or two. I've been really nailing some channels and watching a lot. So I just kind of feel like in terms of my week, it's like I pretty much wasted a lot of time this past week.
Yeah. Is this a deep down unhealthy support group podcast, where we just talk about how we're not interacting with anything else but our phone screen?
We're sacrificing ourselves to give the best recommendations so that you don't have to go through and watch hundreds of hours of bad YouTube, right?
Yeah, you say that, but our recommendations could also add up to some unhealthy hours too.
That's true.
We're still bad guys here.
If you watched everything that we recommended, you probably have some good hours on YouTube.
And we're not helping. We're not helping by making that playlist so long.
Speaking of which, what are your hours for the week? How many hours of YouTube have you watched this past week according to your app?
11 hours.
Okay, not bad. That's quite high. That's quite high for you. I'd say it's on the high end. I've got some decent ones though. I've got 25 and a half.
Damn.
Past week. And I tell you what, none of it is relevant to my everyday life.
What does that mean?
I mean, so my channel I'm recommending of the week, WranglerStar, we'll get to it later, is all about bushcraft and living in woodland areas. And now I just really want to buy an axe, but hey, we'll come to that later. And I believe this week, what's the channel you're recommending this week as your main?
Alanah Pearce.
Alanah Pearce,
YouTube channel.
When
we get into
gaming channel,
it's a gaming channel. Yeah, I was gonna say when we get into it, can we also, especially more for you, why did you get into it, or how and why did it keep you there? Because if it's not related to you, what is that catch?
Okay.
Deep down, do you want to live in the forest?
It's not even deep down. It's right on the surface. I want to live in the forest, man. But yeah, we'll get to that. But for the time being, let's give you guys a few of our individual video recommendations rather than the whole channels. So, I mean, like I said, I've been watching a lot. I've been watching a bunch of different stuff, actually. I know a lot of weeks, I'll come in and be like, I just watched a bunch of the same stuff. And sure, yeah, I've seen some of the old classics and that. But a couple of channels that are really out there. So, firstly, Mr. Puzzle.
Mr. Puzzle.
Yeah, he's called Mr. Puzzle. I believe he's a German guy. I'm just basing it on his accent. And 779k subs. So, just about 800k. And he basically just reviews and completes puzzles. And these aren't just your everydays. This is not jigsaw puzzles or whatever. This is handmade, beautifully designed, incredibly difficult puzzles.
Okay.
There's a bunch of channels like this, and he's not even the biggest one. This is just the one I don't know. Somehow it popped up in a feed, or who knows how I got there, but whatever. I ended up with this channel. This is the one I've been watching. But like I said, there's a ton of these ones, and they're just interesting. It's some of the puzzles are so cool and so complicated and well made. It's really awesome. But what he does, which I like, is he talks about his, analytical problem-solving approach to solving them. So he'll go through, like, I'll link one about the Revo maze, which is this cylinder of solid metal, which is like, how do we even get out of this? And then there's like a hidden ball inside, whatever. And he just shows his process on trying to solve it. And he's like mapping out what he imagines it looks like on the inside as he goes and tries to solve this like maze that's on the inside. It's crazy. It's like, it's so much work. And he says, a lot of these puzzles take him hours to solve. He spends 4 or 5 hours on a puzzle and be like, yeah, that was a 4 out of 5 difficulty rating.
Oh man. Yeah. I love it when it's becomes somebody's life.
Yeah. I think it's something about like the solving and also just the engineering and creativity that goes into the actual puzzles. It's so interesting. It's like some of the ideas these puzzle makers come up with are just so creative and devious in their difficulty. Like another example is one with it was just a ball in a cage box, which the ball can't get out of the cage because the bars are too close together. The only way to solve it is to whack it really hard, like against a table or your hand, and then like this magnet pops out of place and boom, it's done. It's like the solution, once you know it, is so simple, but to get to that point, it's like, how would you know unless you had loads of experience with these puzzles?
Oh my goodness. Do you know what's funny? It's like when you started this, you said, it doesn't do your average, jigsaw puzzles. And I was thinking of like the movie Saw. I was like, yeah, not those average death-defying traps. Like, what's the bigger stuff?
Yeah. He doesn't cut off any limbs, no, but they're pretty awesome puzzles. And yeah, it's just cool. It's just kind of relaxing videos, but yeah, definitely recommend. It's quite nice.
No, nice.
Apologies, my cat is coming through.
Oh yeah. No, I heard a scream, but I just assumed someone was doing a puzzle in the background.
Don't worry. He says I've not fed him. If you listen to this cat, you'd believe that he hadn't been fed in 2 weeks and he was dying of starvation instead of having been fed like 2 hours ago. But, anyway, carry on. Sorry about that.
Yeah, no, we're all glad to know that your YouTube habit doesn't, make you
don't just neglect the cat. Yeah.
So I got a video recommendation from, a channel called, I assume it's a morning show as well. It's called Good Morning America.
Okay.
And, I know nothing about the morning show itself, but they put a video about a guy from Zimbabwe who, basically did Google Street View himself.
Google... Okay, what?
Yeah. So, normally they would send self-driving cars, sometimes maybe I think it's always a car, where they just like go around a city and then it creates the map for anyone to use. But they didn't have this in Zimbabwe. We're talking like within the last 2 years. So a guy, I think his name was like Tawanda or something. Mm-hmm. Basically, it started off with him just saying like, he couldn't find his hometown on Google Street View, and he just thought like that's a bit unfair. Like the country is not that far back in terms of like, sure, it's maybe part of the third world category, but they have cities that are almost considered, second to first world, and it was just like everyone relies on it or would need it, but they're having to use paper maps this whole time. So he reached out to Google, and the funny part down the line I'll mention, but he reached out to them and then they gave him the equipment to be able to do this. He just started off going around like the main city, Harare, and then he goes like to others. And he's just mapping it himself. The thumbnail to this video, you would think this guy is a superhero. Definitely, if you're not gonna watch it, just look at the thumbnail. My goodness. But if you read the top comments, it explains why this video is a bit weird is they sent him all the equipment to do it himself, and because they were so inspired, this being Google, about the idea, they're obviously doing a documentary on him. So they're sending people to record, like a crew to record him. But what would have actually been useful was to send people to help the workload.
Yeah, he's still just one guy. They're like, wow, this is incredible. Let's send a bunch of cameras, a bunch of people to walk around. No way.
And like, obviously, maybe that is the documentary and they helped him. But I mean, they also wrote themselves that he was doing it by himself. Maybe you know, that's the aspirational thing we want to get out of it. But yeah, no, it's really good. They talk about like how he does it, the equipment he's using, how much he's gathering per mile, and yeah, like I think it was like in 2 weeks he could get about 10,000 miles. So we're not talking like a crazy fast rate, but it took a lot of redos, and yeah, it's just very inspiring as well as like informative on like how someone would have to take the step for themselves and do it, and how it works when you're not your own self-driving robot. So yeah, cool. definitely a good read, good insight.
I guess I'll do it in London. I'll be like, guys, I know you've already got London mapped, but you know, I'll map like in great detail the walk from my home to the shop.
Yeah, exactly.
And everybody will like the highest quality, that 1 10-minute walk.
One of the comments is like, when rappers say I'll put this city on the map, it's like, nah, this guy is doing it.
That's good. Nice. That's pretty inspiring. I like it. Okay, the next channel I've got to talk about is this is not a recommendation. This is not a recommendation.
I love the not ones.
But it's interesting. I got this from YouTube. From Reddit. There's a Reddit community called a subreddit called like a Deep Into YouTube or something, and it's basically really, you know, niche, random, weird videos on YouTube, usually with very few subs and views and stuff that people have just found somehow because they got deep into YouTube. And this channel is called Ask About Tech, and this is bizarre. This channel is posting, let me see, they've posted 4 videos within the last hour.
Oh, okay.
They're all, you know, 1 to 2 minutes long. They've posted, I mean, let me just look for the day here. Since 24 hours ago, we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. What's 15 times 6? 15 times 6. I'm typing it in. I'm typing it in. 9. Wait, no.
90 or 80?
No.
Oh gosh, this is embarrassing.
I got it wrong. No. It's 90. Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, they posted 90 videos in the last 24 hours. 90. 90. Okay, and yeah, sure, they're all a couple minutes long. Fine. Here's the thing. This channel is not a real channel. This channel is run by an AI.
Ooh, I don't know. I just like that. I just like the idea of that.
So this is why it's interesting. I mean, the videos are terrible, and basically what they do is they find trending search terms. They also don't talk about. They don't say, oh, it's, this is all automated, whatever. It's just obvious that it is. And I was reading discussions and a lot of the theories make sense. But it seems like an AI, some program is scanning the web for trending tech-related questions. Well, they're actually not all tech-related, although the channel is called Ask About Tech. They're kind of a bit of everything. And it finds, trending questions and then looks up using some search software, probably just Google, and finds, the top result and then reads it out in an automated voice. And they also have little clips of this woman just saying like really generic things like, we're here to help you. And then it'll go into just text on a screen with an automated, robot voice. It's really strange. It's very, very bizarre. And they're not getting views. They've got about 4K subs. And no, they don't get views. They get 1, 2, 3 views per video. Most popular, though, is 45K views. And they've got a few more. They've got maybe 20 or 30 videos with more than 10K views. So, okay. And yeah, it literally is just automated question answering. It's crazy, actually. It's really strange.
Because I can't even think what the end goal is. It's not like
views, revenue. Pops, it's going to be views and revenue. I mean, just more that you put on there, the more likely it is to be one. Like the top one is, can you transfer your Apex Legends account from PS4 to PC?
Oh, I really do want to know that though.
And yeah, like I said, it's just text on a screen read out by a robot. A couple of interspersed images of a real person saying extremely generic things. By the way, the generic things, they're repeated every video. It's not, they don't record something new every video. It's just the same every time. It's just bizarre. And I really hope that this doesn't become a thing because it's a new low, It's a new low in terms of content quality on YouTube.
A new low that we fear can catch on. Exactly. I'm guessing it's people typing these questions but can't be bothered to read a whole article and go to YouTube and let's be the source for it.
They put it in, and it's the exact search term because they're just pulling it from the top rated searches, and that's it. It's really bizarre. But yeah, that's my non-recommendation. But if you're interested, I will link it.
I'm so interested. I'm more interested than the recommendations.
See what I mean? It's like what? It's really strange. Yeah, terrible content though. But anyway, yes. Moving to the next one. What do you got for us?
Well, speaking of low views, I'm gonna really skip past this one and actually give a recommendation. But Ninja, he's got like 24 mil subs. And like for the last 3 months, he's been playing games that he enjoys, like League of Legends I think Valorant. And they get 100K views, compared to his million or so, 1 million to 3 per Fortnite video back in the day.
Yeah.
And he's addressed it in his streams, I understand, that's not what people come to my channel to see, but I just want to play what I enjoy. Yeah, don't forget, I used to play Halo, blah blah blah. But now he's back. 3 months later, he's back onto Fortnite.
He's probably got a deadline. He's probably got a bit. Maybe they're going on holiday. They're buying a new house. He needs to make some extra
contract,
revenue.
Yeah, some contract. You gotta hit these numbers, and obviously then he hit 1 million, 0.6 immediately after doing that. But it just made me think that, do you think some YouTubers, because of how they've set themselves up, can only do what they were expected to do?
Yeah, I mean, that is difficult. And something, there's a lot of Twitch streamers that have the same issue. It's they get popular with a particular game, and then when that game sort of loses popularity, or they just get bored of it and want to move on to something else, then everybody gets pissed off when they switch games and don't come and watch.
Yeah, and some of the Twitch streamers think they're smart by making a second channel where it's me plays other things versus my other channel, which I just play, Call of Duty Warzone. Yeah. And it's so unfortunate, but then we know streamers that do well and are known for their personality. So I think, as an answer, I think you got to diversify at the beginning. Just because it's working, don't just stick to it, because the views and subs might go higher, but so do people's narrow-mindedness on what you can do. Exactly.
And to be honest, it's surprising. I wouldn't have guessed that Fortnite would still be as popular as it is. It's definitely less in the public eye, but amongst younger kids, it's still the number one game. It's still insanely popular. And I would have guessed it would have died a long time ago. So he's frankly lucky that it still does have popularity and that people, you know, still actually want to watch him play Fortnite. He's even got that as an option, you know.
Yeah, backup.
But that's the thing. Like he has to keep at it, and like you said, go personality over like what you're playing.
Yeah. Well,
yeah,
it's a sad life where the thing you don't want to do makes so much money, right?
I know, right? Yeah, but it's his. He got into this situation and he got a lot of good out of it. So it was his whole career.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Oh, yeah. There was a thing trending on TikTok about like, oh, just tell us. It was all this in the same fashion that somebody asked Tony Hawk, how much did they pay you for Tony Hawk Pro Skater 4? And I think he said, they just gave me a flat 10 million. He just says it in an interview like that. So somebody asked Ninja what's like what was a consistent amount of money, or maybe what was the highest you made in a month? And he just said it flat. Yeah, I just got 5 million in 1 month. That was a good month.
Wow.
5
That's
million.
insane. Yeah, that's insane.
Man. Anyway, to my actual recommendation, Joyner Lucas.
Joyner Lucas, okay.
Yeah, he is a musician.
Rapper,
I think we've talked about
artist.
him before. Yeah, because I think we mentioned him when he did that music video on Will Smith.
Oh yeah. I remember that. That was a strange video.
Yeah, he also made a remix. Oh, I think I probably mentioned this in the podcast, maybe. But months later, did a remix where Will Smith rapped back to him. That was pretty nice.
Really?
Pretty cool.
Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
it's on his channel as well. But this music video, not to recommend music, but the reason why I liked it so much was it was starring Mark Wahlberg, P. Diddy, and George Lopez, if you know the comedian. I was a big fan of George Lopez.
I mean, he's a big artist, so I do get it to an extent. I mean, he did the collabs with Eminem,
Yeah, of course, yeah. But all in all, the music's good, but he made it more of like a music video in terms of like there's bits where the music isn't playing, they're like acting. I just thought it was like really good to see like hitting a higher grade, I suppose, coming from like not really having like records or anything to using YouTube as a spreadable platform for music. Like Marshmello, he does that very well in terms of like his YouTube channel isn't just music, he does like cooking stuff and blah blah blah.
Does he?
But,
that's cool.
Yeah, so I do like it when they use YouTube a bit more, and I think Joyner has a bit of a comedian side in him, and I feel like he would pursue it now that he's trying these new things and people are liking it.
So what was the video? Was it kind of comedic then?
Yeah, it was like kind of about how he wanted to get a car from these celebrities, like a good looking car, so he could either just drive in it or use it in a music video. So he goes to Mark Wahlberg and they're like all arguing and disagreeing, like, oh, you come into my house and you're just like bothering me on this one little thing. Like, come on, man, we go way back, why are you bothering me on this? Then like the car crashes and then he goes to like the next celebrity, George Lopez, and does the same thing. And I think in the end he just settles on like a child or toy little car and he just like drives that to wherever it was going. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Okay, that's decent. Yeah, I mean, I really like Joyner Lucas just because I like his music, and he makes like his music and the stories that he tells are just interesting, and he makes good videos to go along with them. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Okay, next on my list, or final on my list, at least for now, is Cold Ones, who I've talked about before, but I went back and watched some of their episodes. I'm definitely going to put a warning on there. Like, their videos are not for the faint of heart. They do just gross, disgusting challenges. Like, there's one which I'll link it, which is just trying the strongest liquor on the planet. They go all the way up to 95%.
Is this during a podcast or just like an actual video?
It's a video. It's kind of a cross. Like it is a video. It's not an episode of the podcast. It's in the podcast studio though. So it sort of looks the same, but it's just them, goofing around and doing these challenges, or like getting the cheapest drinking games and playing them and that kind of thing. It's quite entertaining. I mean, more so because I really like Max Mofo. I still really don't like Chad, anything for views. I just don't like him. I just think he's he's just a bad guy. Anyway, but the videos are entertaining nonetheless. So I'll drop a link for that. Again, not for the faint of heart. There is some throwing up and fat bellies being shown. So
Yeah.
Not sure which is worse. What have you got anything else for us in the?
Yeah, I have so many, but I'll just pick one and I'll save it for like the next week.
Okay.
But before I get into it, have you seen the clip feature on your YouTube app?
The what feature? Clip? No.
Yeah, so like on a video, if you click on it, it's got. I haven't done anything with it, but it's so you got your like, your dislike, you got share, and then you got this clip bit, kind of similar to Twitch. So I can pick a section. I didn't explore it because I literally saw it like 30 minutes ago. 30 minutes before the podcast, and then I was like, so you can actually repost it, and it made me think when you're talking about that AI thing, like, could it do that too? Like something just clips the part that's trending.
Oh, that's really interesting. I don't have that yet. I don't have it yet. They must just be testing it.
Maybe.
Wow.
But then it's like, why would you be allowed to highlight somebody else's content without their approval?
Well, because it's going to link back to the main video, I'm sure. I mean, is that just to share on YouTube? Can you just clip it to?
Yeah, to share on my. I don't know where it's going to go on my channel.
Probably in the shorts, in like the YouTube Shorts thing, because they're really pushing the YouTube Shorts.
Oh, they are. Have you watched one accidentally and be like, that was not too bad?
Yeah, I've watched a couple. I watched a couple.
That's how it starts.
I know. I watched a couple by I don't remember who now. What am I saying?
It didn't have an impact.
By No Carrick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he said it. It's like, yeah, I've done some shorts to try and get in on all the, hype and success people are seeing with them. But they're not getting very many views, probably because they're fucking stupid. And the ones he does are really fucking stupid. But
I can't imagine an advert before them. Like, I guess it just helps your channel, not necessarily monetization.
Yeah, because I've done a video before talking about how to hide them in your feed, but that method no longer works.
Yeah.
And people have been saying this. So they basically have taken that feature off and said, you
better love it.
We're doing this now. The thing is, the shorts, like, I'm okay with the concept, but the way that they're just so low quality, almost always it's reposts from TikTok.
Yeah.
The camera quality always sucks. The filming always sucks. Like, they're just such
and
poor quality.
I hate the thumbnails for them. Like, ugh.
Like they need to somehow get people making better original shorts that aren't reposts and are actually halfway decent before they start pushing it to absolutely everyone, because everyone's just getting annoyed and just like, I'm just sick of this. I don't want this.
Sidetrack anyway, and I'm gonna give one last sidetrack. This one's quick. Just a yes or no. Just a yes or no. In the London elections that happened, is it true that Nico, a YouTuber, came fourth?
I don't know. I've never even heard about this.
So Max...
I've heard about the elections. I've not heard about Nico.
Oh, yeah. There's this thing where people compete to be the mayor of London. Yeah, don't know if you know.
Yeah.
There's a guy called Max Fosh who I've recommended a video. Yeah, he's the one that bought a roundabout.
I know him. Yeah. He makes great videos.
Yeah, he does. Just try to type elections in Google, but that's just going to take forever. But him and Nico is like a prankster type, sideman type YouTuber. So like he would, I don't know, like order 1 million boxes of pizza or some dumb thing, and we all see the reaction, like one of those YouTubers, right? But he gets consistent views, like 2 mil here and there. I've never really like been a fan of him, but him and Max had a campaign. They ran, and I saw it on my like home feed like all the time, like their campaigns. I thought they were joking, but I do know from Max's point of view, because he got interviewed by the BBC News, that they did it obviously to promote themselves, they get a bit more like noticed, but they also did run to try and inspire like, you know, younger people to vote because of the metrics saying otherwise. But Max came like almost dead last with like a 0.2% of votes, but Nico, the more popular one, he came fourth, and I think he got like I think just under 10%. But
really, that is
I will honestly have to back. I would say don't take my numbers, but he definitely fourth. I do recall he got.
I mean, I got to say that is just worrying. Okay, I just googled it. He came fifth. He came fifth. But that's still good. But that is not gonna lie, really pretty.
Oh, you know worrying. It's happening. You know it's happening. Starts off with Trump, then we get a nicer guy like The Rock being president, and then it kind of goes to this YouTuber, maybe musician era, and that's gonna come from America, and it's gonna come to England, and you know KSI is gonna run the country.
Oh my god! Please,
it's so sad, but I'm telling you, popularity is what's gonna be.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so last one that I'm going to recommend, sorry for the digression, but this one is a YouTuber called Eric, and I wouldn't say I'm a big fan of him, but what I do love is a guy who comes from nothing, sees an opportunity to become something, and just goes crazy on it. So he is a guy who bought, if I remember, like he was not that popular, maybe like under 100K, and then he bought Logan Paul's like Mercedes sofa in one video for like a crazy amount of money, and then he skydived with it, just something completely random.
Really? Oh my god! And how does he have the budget for this? Damn.
No, because he does talk about it in his videos recently about how his agent, they make it public on like how much money they have and what they're gonna put into a video and their hopes on what it's gonna bring back.
Yeah,
very like Mr. Beast style, but we don't get to know from Mr. Beast's point of view. So like he goes high budget for the hope to return. And so he's been growing by doing just that clickbaity type acts, but with a bit of Mr. Beast element to it. But the video in particular was one where he hired 50 bodyguards, and it was trending as well. And I don't know, it's like, you know what, it's going to work. That same thing we talked about from that Mr. Beast podcast is, think about something that no one's done, add something to it. You know it's going to trend.
Yeah.
You know it's going to trend.
Yeah, that's automatic. It's like, have 50 bodyguards,
and no one's
skydive
stopping
with a sofa.
you from doing it.
It's like it's perfectly legal what he's doing. You just need the budget to cover it, and then
and the commitment of like paying the loan back when it doesn't work.
But I don't want to downplay though the just the skill at thinking up these ideas. Like they might seem like get 50 bodyguards, obvious, but you know these guys, Mr. Beast especially as well, they're good at coming up with just crazy ideas that they know will trend.
Exactly. But I mean, like all in all, it's a good video. The thing that we've kind of pointed out in Mr. Beast ones is like we see the concept, see the idea, but it's only really in the last like 10 seconds of the video, so that's all the part I want to see. In this case, he does segment it pretty well. I do like his pacing. So like, you know, starts off with 5 and then tries to get into like an exclusive place, like, you know, clearly I'm important. I got 5 bodyguards. You don't know who I am. Then like I think he got 20.
Did it work?
Then he was yeah. And then he got 20 and he went like in a Times Square type place, and it was like paying people to start off wanting to take photos with him to show the social reaction that other people will just say, oh yeah, can I have a photo with you? But you have no clue who it is. Then he starts to lie to say, oh yeah, I was in that last Avengers movie, you remember me, right? Because he's got 30 bodyguards, everyone's like, oh yeah, I remember seeing you. And all in all, the whole point was to have 50 bodyguards to get into this restaurant that no one's allowed into unless you're a high profiler. And it worked. He went in, just ate a burger, and then left. And there's just 50 bodyguards around him whilst he eats it in utter sadness. Yeah, it was a really good video.
So ridiculous. That's good. I mean, that's some quality content right there. Some clickbait worthy content, I guess you could say.
Of course.
But it's not really clickbait because they really are doing the things.
Yeah, true.
So, fair enough.
Oh, yeah. Don't get me started with like, I survived underwater for 24 hours. One of those clickbaity ones.
Nice. Okay, should we go to our channels of the week?
Let's do it.
So, mine is, as I already mentioned, WranglerStar. Now, he's actually got, it's basically one guy. His son kind of joins him on the videos sometimes. And it's a big channel. He's got almost 1.8 mil subs. And he does what he calls modern homesteading. So I had to look this up. But homesteading is basically when you live on a plot of land and try to be self-sufficient. You go and cut down the trees, you plant stuff, you fish, you hunt game, and you just try and do things your own way. And he does a lot of different sorts of videos, but they're all obviously really related to that. So there's one where he makes his own wood burning stove, but the best ones, in my opinion, are the ones where he goes out to the forest and he talks about axes. Those are my favorites to watch. He's got a lot of videos about axes, testing the cheapest axe on Amazon, testing the most expensive axe on Amazon, testing out this survival axe that got crowdfunded, showing my favorite axe, why I love this axe, whatever. And then he'll show you, techniques and things for chopping down trees and making a fire, and talks about what makes a good axe good, and I just know all about axes now. I'm like, yeah, that sweet hickory handle, you gotta have that palm swell, and shit like that.
I can listen to this all day.
Yeah. But I'll tell you, you asked earlier, like, what is it that keeps you hooked? And these videos are very chill. A lot of these kinds, we've talked about different forestry, and those types of channels before, and I've watched a bunch of that stuff myself. But it's the calmness and just the nature and things. It's so fun just seeing him work with wood and seeing him out in nature and just talk about all this stuff. He lives in such a nice location somewhere in America, don't know where. It's got this like beautiful mountain in the background, and it's so interesting learning about this stuff because he's so knowledgeable and he's just grown up with it. He's constantly talking about like, my granddad, when I used to go out with him all the time, and he used to do it this way and pull the hook on this side because that way it doesn't like swing into your leg, and just all kinds of stuff like that. It's just really, really, really cool, really just entertaining, chill, and wholesome, I guess you could say. They're definitely wholesome, It's fun seeing him work with his son and stuff. He actually even, I didn't see it, but he talked about it in a video. He was like, I'm actually going to be streaming video games with my son on Twitch. And the reason he said is like, my son is really into video games, and it's not something I like or have ever been into. But we got to remember, with our kids, they're not just straight copies of us as the parents. They have their own interests, their own things that they like to do, and we should try and make an effort to share that with them, and be part of that side of their lives, and try and take an interest in the things that they like. I just thought it was like really wholesome and nice. We put in an effort, and I went and tried to play video games on Twitch. Like I said, I didn't see it, but he's just very wholesome and relaxing kinds of videos.
Especially that last part. That's really good. I almost wish you went last to end it on a beautiful sentimental note. I really hope it also doesn't end with him like when the kid like loses at a game, he just like gets his axe out and just smash it.
Smashes the PC.
Yeah, it's like, this sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, and he does a lot of other
really
ones
good.
as well, like chainsaw stuff and bow and arrows and stuff like that. But like I said, for me, it's the survival tools and the axes. That is just the most interesting to me. I found them really, just really cool. Really good.
And this is in America. They're not like off the grid, are they?
No, they're not off the grid, but they live on a big, they've got a lot of land around them and a lot of forestry and things, and they have to cut it to keep to keep the land clear for doing other things and for burning in the house and all that stuff. So yeah, it's super interesting. He's actually, I don't think he is anymore, but at one point he was actually a firefighter as well, and he would fight the forest fires in America.
Oh.
Yeah, he was part of the team that did that, which is pretty crazy. So he's legit. He's legit. He's grown up with this stuff, worked with it, and he's legit. It's pretty cool.
Nice.
He was also, just last note, he's got a good sense of humor as well, and he's always bitching about like Chinese made tools and how they're really low quality and stuff. He's like, I'm not racist, I'm just telling you this axe right here, which was made in China, is terrible quality. He's just kind of very matter of fact about stuff. It's good. Really good.
That's good. It's like a tasteful difference from like primitive technology where you're not speaking at all, but then now you're hearing a guy who's doing this kind of stuff and we're getting the commentary. Yeah,
exactly. So I recommend for sure. Okay, what do you got for us, David?
Right. So I guess you kind of mentioned like how you started off with one video and kept going. I'm trying to think what happened to me with this one. But Alanah Pearce, so she has a YouTube channel. I think it's about 500,000 subs. Okay. She technically, she's a video game writer, but she's had like a quite a broad career, I guess, so far. Like she was an IGN host. She's very well known in the gaming community as well. I guess mostly from IGN, but she's very well known. Yeah, but I don't know. I think I was kind of I don't know. It's just like people who are like that front facing, like reviewer for like a game like type show. I don't know. There's always like a stigma on them that they're just reading up the teleprompter, blah blah blah. You don't really know like their true opinions as well as their knowledge base. But definitely from like going through her channel, she knows the industry in the strongest that I've ever really seen. Like she's had an impact in so many different companies as well. Like right now she works for Sony, the Santa Monica studio or developer. She's but also like in the past she was part of the Rooster Teeth YouTube channel as well.
Oh, was she?
And Funhouse, just for like 2 years if I remember. But she did have a boyfriend in Rooster Teeth, so that was a bit of like a reason why they were together. But then I guess they broke up, so she also left. But that's side stories, right? But she's also like voice acted as well. So besides like her career, like that's not the reason why I started watching the channels, the videos on her channel. But I think her videos where she talks about little bits of the industry, from like how crossplay works at Sony, like that as a title, you think you're just gonna hear like, oh, okay, tell us like the time Sony finally gave in that you could play Call of Duty or Fortnite with Xbox or people on PC. But she goes into way more about like how the negotiations of like, okay, only if our users come to this platform and earn a certain amount of like in-game currency, then we have this threshold. Anything you don't meet, we get that money back. And like just really dives in. And I'm surprised, even working at Sony, that she still says this stuff and not gets away with it, but like she has the freedom to. It's very insightful, and I've honestly her videos where she touches on it, like I just find myself watching the whole 20-minute thing, not knowing like where did the time go. But I would say the most impactful stuff on her channel is her podcast. And I think
she has a podcast.
Oh,
surprise, surprise. Another YouTuber with a podcast.
Yeah. But not that many episodes though. But the reason why I like it is it's called Play, Watch, Listen, and they post the videos on her channel. But it's with Troy Baker, the voice actor.
Oh, Troy Baker. He's huge. He's like done.
Oh, he's huge.
He's done so many video games. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Last of Us, the Uncharted series, a very Sony guy, but he's done voice acting in many spheres as well, not just for video games. And then he's got there's Austin and Mike. Mike is a British game developer, and Austin Wintory is I think he does the sounds. He does
Wintory.
Like,
he did the soundtrack for Assassin's Creed.
One
of them, one of the recent ones. Really good as well.
Yeah, he's got quite a catalog on his CV. So the four of them, my goodness, this podcast, I don't know what to say. Like I think I love it. I think I've watched maybe 8 of them, and they're like an hour long, but they're great. They've only got 63 episodes, and they started like years ago, if I remember, like 2012. But of course, they're all from different backgrounds and have so much work, so they don't meet that often. But when they do, like the things I mentioned about what Alanah covers, it's now even more heightened about the decision making that goes in video game development from start to finish, from like marketing, and the insight that they're giving is just like, I don't think I could get any more. Like, this is everything I ever wanted to know, given to me right there. And then just talking, especially Troy, man, have you heard Troy just speak normally, casually? Soothing. I really, really like the podcast, and I think I could honestly do all the episodes. I plan to. But yeah, I think just a great channel all in all, and I'm kind of glad that I found it, because I've always had a fascination for the industry, maybe more than playing the games myself, and then this was like my one-stop shop in getting all that information.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I've actually had a shortage of podcasts recently. Like, I've gone off the H3 podcast, which was my go-to all the time, when I needed something to kind of listen / watch in the background. That's pretty interesting. Cool.
Yeah. I guess we've said it before, we try to stick away from the game ones, but even if you're not into games that much, I do think the podcast has some leverage. Otherwise, her channel does cover loads of stuff. Like, she recently interviewed the lady who what's that, you played this new Resident Evil game,
Resident Evil 8.
Yeah, that lady that's trending, that everyone's like, I
Lady
wish she could step on me. So she interviewed the lady that voice acted for her, and she was like, I had no idea this was even going to be for a game. And then
really,
yeah. So wow.
The game was great, by the way. I finished it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
but yeah, she's got loads of stuff on the channel, so yeah, definitely recommend.
Nice, cool. Okay, well, that about wraps us up for this week. We will be back again next Tuesday. Make sure you sub to us on iTunes, any podcasting app, or on YouTube, where you can also find our playlists with all the videos we've talked about, as well as in the description. Thank you all for listening. We will see you next week.
Nice. See ya.